What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the drone show. Got another one for you today. Got a new Japanese natural stone I wanted you guys to check out. It's one I've been wanting for a while, and I don't know why I haven't purchased one aside of, well, I guess maybe mostly it's because of the fact that I haven't found a true source, right? I like to buy my JNats from a trusted and reputable seller, and some of those vendors that I use, I can't always get them from. They're always out of stock. The Tsushima, which is what this one is a black stone. Here, I'll show you real quick in the GoPro. I say black, I'm sorry. It's actually called the ocean blue, not black. It's got a lacquer on it, makes it look black. Okay. So the other lacquers, you know, they kind of look like this, like a yellowish kind of piss yellow kind of tint. But this one is dark. And the stone itself is kind of gray. It's very similar to an alto, which if you look here, those colors are very similar. I mean, this one's darker, kind of more of a brownish, greenish tint to it, where this is more like legit gray. But they're very similar as far as their texture goes and how muddy they are and whatnot. But it's a good stone. So a lot of people get confused though. You'll see them listed on Amazon. Usually it looks like, where'd that box go? Yeah, you'll see a lot of them listed with a symbol. Let me bring it back over to the GoPro. That looks very much like this, like a samurai on it, right? And they'll tell you, oh, it's a 12K, blah, blah, blah. It's not. So these are not 12K. They're roughly a 3.5 on the hardness scale. Their equivalent grit, which, as I've said many times to you guys, and you know, I learned, of course, quite some time ago, you can't really rate Japanese naturals in terms of grit. But if you could put a grit number on it, it's roughly in the 2 to 3K range. Depending on how you handle the slurry and stuff, it could be up to 5K. So it gives a really good 2 to 3K finish, but definitely not 12K. So that box I showed you, I bought that to test. And if any guys have ever seen Tomo Nogura, he's an Etsy seller, as well as he has a review, or he does reviews on stones and stuff as well for straight razors. And he was talking about that actual seller. A lot of times you'll see it in like a leather pouch. What you don't understand is that you're getting a stone that's roughly, you know, about this size for like 70 bucks. I can tell you that the size of this stone, as you see, it's rather large, nice and thick. This stone, I got it at its true, to what it should be price, which was $145. For a Japanese natural stone, that is an amazing price, okay? And it came from an actual Japanese vendor, a trusted vendor. So this, though, is the stone that was in that box. It is the same thing. There's no lacquer on it. I've done testing. It is literally a cut off of one of these stones. So I have ground it down. I have checked it under a microscope. From what I can see, grain for grain, it's the exact same stone. But this is a slurry stone, right? So I'm going to use it to bring up a slurry and match this. I will seal it at some point. But anyway, I'm going to refine the edge of my favorite little Shirogami 2 Nakiri here. I really love that thing. That's that one that I fixed the nick on it with. But before we do that, just want to remind you guys of a couple things. First is the giveaway that is going to go on. It's not this coming Wednesday, but a week from this coming Wednesday is the announcement. It's for another Altstone Fukami. Again, thanks to Altways. I appreciate you guys. As you saw from the intro I did there, I'm working on a few things to kind of spice the channel up a little bit and just add some more like little, I don't know, decoration type things or whatever, just to spruce it up, right? So been doing stuff with that. I did the video today for them that they requested. So I'll be releasing that soon too for you guys to check out. But before we do that, I wanted to show you this. So this is a DMD Tools stone set. They were supposed to send me the resin bonded diamond set, but I think they accidentally sent me just the diamonds. So this is what I like to use for, it's for a fixed angle system, but I use them as handheld stones for pocket knives. So it's a set of several grits. This one just a 240 grit, just to show you. What I like to do with pocket knives is I take these, sometimes I put them in like a stone holder, like one of these here, and kind of do like this. Get it locked in there. I'm not going to lock this one in, but I get it locked in over to the edge, and I'll hold it and then sharpen, you know, my pocket knives. I like to use these because they're perfect as far as edge control. I don't mind using the larger stone, but I prefer the smaller ones for pocket knives for some reason. But anyway, I'm going to do a review on these, and also I'm going to do the review on the resin bonded ones, which they just released. So they told me, because they contacted me, and they said that their resin bonded ones on Amazon that are the same size are the Work Sharp versions, just there was some visual defects that Work Sharp didn't want, basically, is what it ended up being. So I'm looking forward to trying these out. Thanks again to DMD, but we'll do a video on that at some point. Aside of that, guys, I had something else I was going to say. When I remember, I will tell you. But aside of that, let's go ahead and get into this beautiful Tsushima Ocean Blue is what they're called. Just it's like I think the U.S. sellers and distributors gave it that name. But the Tsushima Japanese Natural Stone. So what I did with this is I finished it on a 1K. So I did it on the actual Altstone Fukami 1K. And I'm going to go ahead and get this bad boy some water on top. As you'll see there, it turns a beautiful, beautiful color. It's a nice kind of a slatey kind of a gray. I'm going to go ahead and take my Nagura, get a little dippage. I'm going to put a small slurry. What I'll do is I'll slurry up the top. Actually, you know what? Here, let's do this. Let's do this backwards. Before I make a slurry, let's see how it slurries on its own, okay? I'll do a few passes and then I'll make a slurry. I want to see how many times I can say slurry too. Slurry, 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 slurry. Hope you guys have had a good weekend. Oh, other thing real quick. This is excellent at a Kasumi finish. Amazing job at a Kasumi finish. I'm going to actually probably put a Kasumi finish on this here, this bevel, maybe on my Tojiros as well. We'll see. But this should do a great contrast with cladding versus the core steel and really kind of haze out the iron cladding. So I'm actually really looking forward to doing that. All right, here we go. You can hear it there. So as you heard there, it's got a nice sound to it. It's a very smooth and even feel. We do have some slurry that is formed, so it does self-slurry. I'm going to go ahead and raise the slurry now, but I wanted to show that to you. The more that you sharpen on it without a slurry, it will bring up more. But let's go ahead now, and we'll do that. You can see how quickly it's doing that here. So you'll find the, they'll call them ocean blue or a Tsushima Nagura, or sometimes they call them black Nagura. That'll be like a little square. So like basically cut this in half, right? And that's your square. They might be a little bigger than that though. A lot of times these are used to draw a rougher slurry on a razor stone. Kind of a kind of a finish thing. But yeah, these are like I said, about a roughly 2 to 3 grit, and in some cases can be up to 5 depending on the slurry and how thick it is and whatnot. It comes from an underwater mine, so yeah, that's kind of interesting, right? You got a stone that's mined from underwater. You'll also find those stones listed on Amazon too that I was telling you about that are small. They'll be thin, okay? One of the problems with that is these stones, and this is also the reason why they come sealed already. These stones are very prone to not splintering, but to falling apart, disintegrating, because again, it's an underwater stone. So you'll find it if it's soaked for too long without any protection, you'll have that problem. If it's dried out wrong, it'll crack, so on and so forth. So these are kind of a delicate stone. They're not very expensive, and I think that's one of the reasons why. Also because the lower range that they are. But they're a good stone, you'll see here when I'm done. Great for razors. Man, it just feels good. It just glides. The hardness feel on this J-nut versus other like really hard J-nuts that I have, like my what do you call that? My Iwatani up there. This feels kind of in that same hardness realm, like you're running over a smooth ceramic rock almost, you know. It's very pleasant to sharpen on. Oop, a little dryness there. Put on a little water. That'll thin up our slurry, but that's fine. My curved back bunka from Nakura Hamono will be here tomorrow. Cannot wait to do a video on that for you guys. Man, I'm so stoked for that. I'm stoked to use it. Okay, we've got that tiny, tiny burr. Mecha like a high, mecha tiny burr. You guys remember that? They didn't say tiny burr clearly, but Pee-wee's Playhouse. Good Lord, it takes me back. Had a small little spot back there on the heel. It did come completely flat. I tested it just a little bit and went ahead and flattened it again because it had the kanji on it. But other than that, this is essentially my first like real go. Bring up a little more slurry here. Don't need a ton. Yeah, I can't wait to see what it does for a razor. Like I said, this wouldn't be a finisher for a razor necessarily. I mean, I guess you could. It just depends on what kind of shave you want, but I don't know, maybe I'll try that actually. You know, because I've been able to shave, this is going to sound so stupid, and I wouldn't do this on my face, okay? But I've been able to successfully shave hairs with a straight razor off of a Chosera 400. So, I'm not going to go my baby face with it, though. Man, it feels so good. You can hear it. It's got that nice kind of sound to it. Bring down some of the slurry. Come on. Little schmidgen. I'm still not out of vacation mode from that week off on spring break. How about you guys? Anybody like ready for spring and summer? I need to get my garden out. Then I can use some fresh garden tomatoes for a cut test. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. And I can't wait to release that Altstone video. I don't know that you guys would benefit from it, but you might like it. Man, yeah. It's got a great consistent burr. Feels really good. We'll thin it out just a smidgen. We'll go ahead and give it one more pass. So I was talking to Matt, and he said that I can take that FSK stone that he's letting me use, and wait until I get my NSK Kogyo and do a comparison test. And I think that'd be so cool. I really appreciate that. I mean, I hate holding on to matte stone like that because, number one, that's an expensive stone. Number two, I mean, it's not mine, it's his. But I would love to do that comparison. I think that'd be a super cool comparison video. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this off. I'm gonna double check. I've actually not seen how the burrs look on this particular stone. Oh wow, no, that's a really good looking finish. Of course, I'll show you guys a nice microscope shot of it. But if I had to guess that finish based on not knowing what it was sharpened on, which I do, I would probably guess that roughly about I'd say about a 2 to 4K, maybe even 4K on what I'm seeing now. Let's go ahead and do the burr minimization here. I've been setting up new stuff for the quote drone studio. I want to have multi-angles set up here. I've already got a couple that I've used here and there, but I'm going to have some off to the side. I'm going to have some above. I'm going to have over shoulder shots. Of course, this one that is the constant, right? Just to kind of give different angle views of things that I'm doing. Just for anybody that's curious and maybe wants to see a different angle because maybe they want to know how to do a certain thing, right? And it doesn't show them very well just by this one angle or something. So I'm going to get that. I'm almost done setting that up. So I'd say by the next video or two, we should be there. All right, is my burr gone? Yeah, I'd say we're gone. I'm going to go ahead and make sure the burr is not on the stone. Give some stropping strokes here. This is going to be a little short video today. I've been gone most of the day and had to do some stuff with my parents and the wife's aunt. Her grandma is not very well, and she actually asked us to come over. She doesn't normally ask us to come over, but she did today. So we did. We had lunch with Grandma. Got to spend time with those you love. I've got a funeral to go to this week too, but that's okay. Celebration of life, right? All right. So just in case, by the way, the funeral, depending on how late it runs, I may have to release the video on Wednesday, on Thursday, depending. I may shoot it early, just depending on what all is going to happen, because I may have to give a eulogy. But I'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So just know, if you don't see me upload on Wednesday, it'll be up on Thursday. All right. I am fairly certain that we are a D-bird. Not the bird, just D-bird. My brain. Yeah. There's some small hints of a burr on there. I'm going to see if it affects this first. So let's just give her the old cut real quick and listen and see what we got. Ooh. Man, the geometry on this knife really helps too. This is a very nice thin knife, but dadgum. That was quiet. One more time here, listen. Just keeps going and going. It's a little noisy, but I mean, again, that burr is still on there somewhat. Give it the old poosh. Ooh. What a great stone. And you know, for the price that it is, I'm telling you, whenever I saw it come up for sale, I jumped on it in a hurry. So there it is. Wow. What a beautiful stone. What a beautiful knife. Yeah, guys. So the Tsushima Ocean Blue. That's kind of what you'll find it referenced as, is the Ocean Blue, right? I'll show you something else I'm going to do a video on soon that I think you guys might like. It's this guy right here. This is a, let's try that again. Boy, I hope that I had that on the correct setup. If not, derp. This is I think a Zhongzi. I don't know. I, Wangzi, maybe Guangxi. This is a Chinese stone. They call it a slow stone. So this is supposedly 12K. I think they put 12K designation on everything, but this is 12 bucks that I paid for this. I've also got a Canadian natural stone coming in, a Rosetta Matrix, I think. Should be here this week as well. I'm very curious to check that out. It's kind of like a Novaculite, kind of similar to Arkansas stones. These are hard stones, but really good for razors. Apparently they've been around a long time. I never really ever heard of these until a couple of weeks ago. I found this on eBay. It turned out the guy was actually maybe 50 miles from me. So $15. I think it was like 12 bucks plus whatever else, right? Ended up being like 15, 16 bucks. Can't beat that. You can find them all day long on eBay for around $26 or so, just depending on where you get them from. So yeah, I'm going to do a video on that. Check it out. But until then, that was the Tsushima Ocean Blue, and that was on my inexpensive $50 Amazon Shirogami 2 Nakiri. I'm going to do some more stuff with this stone, just to give some different examples and ideas of the Kasumi polish and stuff, or the Kasumi finish. And it's supposed to give a nice haze. I'm actually probably going to do it on the Deba. I kind of did start a little bit on that. As you guys remember that this thing was shiny, just as a test, and because I need to do some more work on this anyway. You'll see here, I think you'll see here, how that kind of hazed it a little bit there. And I just barely ran it over it a little bit. So instead of shiny now, it's got a kind of nice cloudy, kind of hazy kind of look to it. And that's what a Kasumi is. So I'm going to really go to town on this mono steel. I don't expect much on a, stainless steel or whatever. So anyway, just rambling on, guys. So I love you guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Remember, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday is the drawing for the Altstone. Appreciate you guys' support. We're getting close to the 1,000 mark, and that means a lot to me. I never ever thought I'd be here, and I'm here because of you guys. So I thank you so much again, and I appreciate your time. I can't say that enough because I really do. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on Wednesday, guys. Peace and love.